Hi everybody, my name is Sharifa and welcome back to the Nubian Review. And today we're going to do, today I want to talk about the rest of my birthday slash summer read haul. So I did a video previously called my birthday haul, and I showed some of the books, well, most of the books that I got myself for my birthday. And people are always asking me, what I do for my birthday, and I'm like, well, you know what, I want to take myself book shopping, and that was the only thing I wanted to do. So what I did was, I got books that I had my eyes on for a while, and some of them, they were spontaneous purchases, in the sense that they were books that I would have purchased anyway in the future, but the opportunity came a lot sooner than later. So what I have now are the books that I did not put in my birthday haul because I didn't have immediate access to them. And so I said it was two books, but then when I turned around, I was like, oh yeah, it was a lot more than two books. So I'm just going to run right through those really quick, and then after I do that, I'm going to give you a list of books that are on my summer to read list, on my summer TBR. Now, the books on my summer TBR are books that I'm putting as priority to read before the fall, and that will be before the fall start, which is like what, September the 21st. So that's how I calculate my fall. So when the fall comes, then I would do like a fall to read, my summer to read list. And other things that I would like to incorporate into that is showing you guys my reading journal. So I've been working really hard on my reading journal, which I never really did in the past. I mean, I just wrote books down that I read and what I liked. So I have like 3 different reading journals for 3 different things, but I'm only going to share one. I'm going to show my creative reading journal, but not on this video, in future videos. Just to give you an idea of how I'm keeping up with the books I read. And then in my reading journal, I do not put TBRs. I do not put down. I do rate them, but how I rate them is not based on a particular system of of like a set system. Is whether I like it or I don't, or if I will recommend it to someone, but that's in the future. So before I start rambling on, let me get to my part 2 of my birthday haul, and so we can get to my actual book haul. But before I do that, give me one moment. All right, I had to pause it for a minute to turn my phone down. So let's get started. So the first book that I have for my my birthday book haul was a book. The author, Catherine Hughes, I've never heard of her before. However, I do know of the artist that she's writing the biography of. The artist is Louis Wayne, and he's known, and you may have seen some of his work and didn't know how prolific he was in the history or histrionics of the feline. And so he was an artist, I think, in the 1800s, and he just drew pictures of felines. The most iconic, before I let me see, before I give you the title of the book, I want to show you this picture. Maybe you know it or maybe you don't. If you are one of those people who who are a cat lover, you may have seen this picture before. It's gorgeous, right? This is what drew my attention when I saw the book. So the book is called Cat's Land, Louis Wayne and the Great Cat Mania. And so in this book, I actually started reading it already, actually today. Um, Beautiful pictures in here. Um, it's just a history of the artist and the history of cats and how they became in the early 17 and 18 and 1900 centuries, how they migrated to these exotic animals to just, like domestic companionship. And so me being an animal lover, me being a cat mama, I just thought this book was so fitting. So yes, I'm in the process of reading this. And so this is part of my birthday haul slash summer haul now, because I picked it up and started reading it today. And I'll probably be finished with it. If I just read it, I could finish this in a few days. But I have other books that I'm reading as well. So yes, Catland by Catherine Hughes. That was the first one. I'm sorry, you guys. My phone is, I don't know who's trying to get in touch with me. So the next one is Miss Macintosh, My Darling, by Marguerite Young. And so this is a classic. I remember seeing this book, I'm going to be honest with you, like 20 years ago. And it was on my mind to get it then, and I wish I would have. I don't know if you've ever experienced, seeing something that like years ago, and your instincts was to, either purchase it or invest in it, and you didn't, and you kind of regret not doing it, because I love hardcovers. However, I was not able to find a hardcover, and if I ever do find one, I'll just get it then. But this book right here in particular used to be at one of my independent bookstores when I was living in another city, and the bookstore is no longer it's no longer there. They actually closed when I was actually living in the city, because they were just not buying physical books. I am a physical book person, and so I love both, audio second, physical first, audio, because I like to multitask. I like to listen while I'm doing other stuff, and so when I'm sitting down, I like to read. I'm not really I don't read like on the digital tablets because of my eyes. It's just, I know they have different ones for to help your eyes, but I love the weight of just reading the book. So Miss Macintosh, My Darling. It's a classic, you guys. It's pretty chunky. Now, I don't know when I'm going to read it, but it's definitely on my list to read. I don't know if sometime this year, but hopefully. This book right here is called Inflamed. Now, this was not a purchase that I had on my list to get, and I really tried to stay close to my list as possible. There were like maybe 4 books I did not get on my list, because I was either looking to buy them from the independent bookstores, which I could not find. Y'all excuse me, I think I got cat hair on my nose. Whew. Having 6 cats would do that to you. So this right here, this was like a last minute, not an impulse. I guess you can say it was an impulse purchase, but it was one of those books that had I not purchased it that day, it would have gone on my list anyway. So I just went ahead and got it because this was the only copy. So it was called In Flame, Deep Medicine and the Anatomy of Injustice, Rupa Myra and Raja Patel. And this goes into the medical maltreatment of blacks and other minorities in the era of COVID and post-COVID. And that's what really, when I was reading the end jacket, that's what drew me to buy it. And so it seems like an interesting story, an interesting read. And so hopefully I'll be able to come back and tell you a little bit more about it. This is the cover. I love that they got the "is for justice." That is beautiful. And then they have the medical sound right here. And it looks like the picture of the anatomy, right? So this should be a good read. The next I have is a jacket, not a jacket, I'm sorry, a book. Coffee. A book that I saw at Barnes and Nobles. And let me go back really quick because I just feel like I'm everywhere. I did get this from Barnes and Nobles. So this was a Barnes and Nobles purchase. So they may have this on their website. And what I can probably do, I don't know, I can probably link it, but this is from Barnes and Nobles. I'm gonna go back. Miss McIntosh, my darling, I got this off of Amazon. This is part of a book series from the Delkey Archive Press, and so what they're doing is they're publishing a lot of the classics. I do have another one on hold. It doesn't come out, I think, until like later this year, but they have some really good titles. So yes, I got this off of Amazon. And then Catland. Where did I get this from? I think I got this from Amazon. This was an Amazon purchase. Catland. Yep. And if it's not out, I'll probably correct it. Okay. So the next one is a book that I wasn't really paying, looking to get this book, but I am collecting books on each U.S. president from Washington to Biden, and so part of my collection is get a subject matter about how they ran their administration, and a personal biography or autobiography of them. So far, I would say the last 15 presidents, I do have personal biographies. I was looking to get one on our previous one, but he hasn't wrote one yet. I hope he does, because I would like to hear his story. It's nothing like telling your story of your administration. But right now, our current president, which is Joe Biden, here in the United States, he do have a memoir out, and I do have the memoir, but I will probably have that on my TBR in the fall, so I will show you. But getting back to presidents, this one right here is Jacksonland. President Andrew Jackson, Cherokee Chief, John Ross, and the Great American Land Grab. Steve Inskeep. You don't have to forgive me because I am like really horrible at pronouncing last names. But I want to say his name is Steve Inskeep. And I got this one. I don't know. Can you see me? I got this one. I did get this one from Barnes and Nobles. This was in the discount section, the bargain books. So I got a really good deal off of that one. This one right here, The Lifelong Journey Towards Meaning and Joy, Ageless Soul, by Thomas More. I love Thomas More. It's just something about his writing. It's just therapeutic. But when I saw this, I also got it. This was in the discount section at Barnes and Nobles. I don't know how well this camera is picking this up, but Ageless Soul. Gorgeous, isn't it? Love it. And I think this is my last one. This one I did have my eye on for a while. And I got this from Barnes and Nobles. When I initially saw it, I did not want to get it. I wanted to get the other book um, about this particular person who is a former president, but it was not available. So the author name is Douglas Brinkley. I'm familiar with a lot of his work, but the book that I was talking about that I wanted of Brinkley's is The Wilderness Warrior. And I either paid full price for it or try to find it at a discount. So it's still on my list of presidential books that I want to get. But this one right here is called Rightful Heritage, Franklin D. Roosevelt and the Land of America. I also got this one, like I said before, if I didn't say, at Barnes and Nobles. And this was actually also in the discount section. So there was one there on Al Capone that I wanted to get, and I went back to get it, and it was gone. So, you know, people really be looking in those discount sections, you know, to get their books. So never doubt, you know, that you know, books that are in the discount section, people are not scoping them out. Now, what I don't normally get from the discount section are the what they call them, like the, I guess, rom-com and love books and stuff like that, because I'm trying to build a physical library, and I know if I were to get something like that, you know, a couple of years from now, I will probably just give it away. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. I'd rather get it from my library or read it in audio or listening to audio version style. But other than that, you know, every now and then I would do it, but it's not anything typical that I do. That's just how we roll. Okay, so let me get to my summer reads. All right, so let's get to my summer reading list. And like I said, the book Catland, it wasn't supposed to be part of my reading list, but I started reading it today, so I'm maybe 29 pages in. I'm right here because I like to stop at whole chapters, especially when I don't have a bookmark. So yeah, I'm just going to add it to my summer reads. So this is one, Catland. The second book that's part of my summer reads. Okay, so I like to do this thing where I call Christmas in July, where I either watch movies or read books about holidays. It's funny because I don't read 4th of July books or summer books in the winter. But I do the reverse and opposite. I love reading about cozy mysteries and stuff like that, and so it reminds me of the holidays. But so here's a list of books that I have, so I'm going to go through them real quick. The first book is Mayhem at the Orient Express. This is a series. I actually found this one at a free man's book library. They are located, I don't know if it's big in your area, but I know it's a big thing here in Illinois, that we have these free man libraries. I don't know where it originated from, but this is the book. I got it from there. And this is actually a series, and this is the first in the series. So I'm going to read this, and then hopefully, like this is not one of these type of reads that I'm going to get the whole series, and you know, I will read it as I go along. So that's just one. The second one is Motherless Brooklyn. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. And so, yeah, I just thought I would check it out. And I don't know where I got this from, but Motherless Brooklyn by Jonathan Latham. Beautiful and gorgeous. Love the color. If you ever walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, it is just a sight to see. It took us about, me and my son, it took us about a good 30 minutes because we were just strolling. But I'm telling you, it was the most breathtaking, most beautiful 30 minutes of walking across the bridge. And it was in the evening time. Absolutely gorgeous. So if you're ever in New York and you have an opportunity to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, if you're a walker, I'm a walker at heart. I don't walk as much as I used to, but it's definitely a sight to see. It's chef's kiss. Like the architecture, I'm into buildings, I'm into structure, I'm into, I'm always wondering how things connect. And so it was just, one of those memorable moments. Um, just visiting New York and having absolutely nothing to do. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. So, but you have to have someone who's going to be willing to do that type of stuff with you. And so yeah, it was a joy. So let me get to the next book, Mary Higgins Clark, a suspense story. Am I getting this right? Yeah, I have two of her books. I just want to make sure that there wasn't an order to it. However, all through the night, really quick reads. Like I'm saying, these books right here is not even one afternoon. Like this is just one sitting. Depends on if you have the time. Very Christmas in July-esque. So I will be reading that. I have Silent Night, also by Mary Clark Higgins. Um, very, you know, a quick read, very thin. So I may read those together on the same day. Okay, so this summer I also said that I wanted to do more romance books, and I'm not a, I don't know, I wouldn't say I'm not a big romance book reader because I do like Pride and Prejudice. Is that romance? Hmm. Let me know in the comments. I mean, maybe I may be wrong, but I do like Pride and Prejudice. mm, mm. But I do love romance. I think I like romance seen on TV because I bought the Bridgerton series. I bought the first four. So I have the first four. And it's nothing like the series, don't get me wrong, and they're good books, but I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get into it. And so this is why I don't buy, romance. Like I'd rather just stick with the series, which is on Netflix. And Netflix is not promoting this, but they're in season 3 at the time of this video. So, this author, I've heard nothing but great reviews about her books. Like every book that I've seen reviewed on YouTube, there was nothing but great responses. So I'm hoping that my instincts were right in investing in the books because I see books as investments. And more than likely, when I'm done with it, I will be giving it away to someone. But This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. And so I couldn't tell you what the prefix is because she got 2 of them that I got. So this is, I want to say they can be standalone, but they are part of a dual series. So this is the first one. This Can Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This was summer read. That's my love story read for the summer. And then last one, the second one is Before I Let Go. I want to say, I think this is the second one. So, Before I Let Go, emotional, raw, real, and addictively delicious. Tia Williams. Once again, Kennedy Ryan. Look at that cover. Oh, it's just, look at the sparkling on her hair. I hope you can see that on camera. Absolutely gorgeous. So those are my love stories for the summer. I hope they are love stories. But if they're not, based on what I heard, I know they're relationship books. A little struggle in there, but I don't want to read about all struggle. I want light and fluffy. Give me light and fluffy. Okay, so this book right here, this was a must read for me, only because I've been reading a lot about climate change, and I've been meaning to get this book for a while, and this was on my list. But I could not find it at an independent book dealer, and so I went ahead and just got it off of Amazon. Um, and then, so this is the first part of a two-part volume, but it is the third book in a four-part series. Let me repeat that. This is the first book, book one of a two-book volume, but this is the third book of a four-part series. And the author is William T. Vollman, and the book is No Immediate Danger, Volume 1 of Carbon Ideologies. All right. And it basically talks about climate change and basically talk about climate change and the things that we need to do at this juncture in our life if we're going to save the planet, which I don't see people really motivated to do. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Okay. This book right here was a book that I did have on my reading list, and I think I did show this in my birthday haul, so you'll be seeing it again. Some of these are from my birthday haul, but this is a must-read book for me this summer, because I mean it's been on my radar, and it just came out. Don't get me wrong, but I read information on this book through a press release before its release date. And I'm just going to give you, I'm going to read the end jacket a little bit, but I'm going to give you the title. It is called The Black Tax, 150 Years of Theft, Exploitation, and Disposition in America. Revealing a history that is deep, broad, and infuriating. The Black Tax casts a bold light on the racist practices long hidden in the shadows of America's tax regime. Now, from the title alone, you probably would have figured, what the book is about, the Black Tax. But this is one of those things that it's an intellectual read in a sense that when you're talking to people and they're trying to figure out, who they want governing over them, these are some of the issues that you need to pull out. And it's not a certain political party. It is the individual ideology and where they're going to lead, you where you're going. Now, if you're for, certain tax, equations and, if it benefits you, then of course you're going to vote for it. I'm the type of person, I'm a forward thinker. I like to think about the future and, how younger people, including myself, are going to survive and move forward based on this person's rules and policies. But I just thought this was so fitting for this time right now. The next book, not the second. The next book is the Alabama Plot. Now I'm just going to go ahead and give you the title because I think I showed, if you saw my other video, my birthday haul, you would have seen this book right here. This was one of the books that I had listed to get upon its release, but I since got it for my birthday. The Secret History of the CIA and the Cold War Assassination, Stuart A. Reed. This is definitely on my summer shelf. And books right here with deco edges, they may seem like they're thick and they're a lot, but this is like a 400-page read. That's just it's not a lot for me to say, oh, that's a big read, because half of it in the back is indexing and citing information. So the notes, I don't pay attention to any of that. I counted up to the epilogue, and once the epilogue is finished, I'm like, okay, well, that was a good 400. and the other 600, and the other 200 is like index. So yeah, I don't count that. So yeah, the Lumbamba plot, the Lumbamba plot. I hope I'm saying it right. Um, Good book. Now, this one right here came from out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting to even pull this book, but once again, going back to the environment, this is a quick read. This is a reread. This is something that I read with my book, my son. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm laughing because it's bringing back memories when he was young. This is one of his books that we had for homeschooling, and it was one of his earth science books. Mm. It's called Life in a Bucket of Soil. If you are a parent, educator, someone who works with children, or even for yourself, this is a very good read. Like, and it has a companion book with this too. I just want to show you this. Absolutely gorgeous. If you are one of those people who just like reading about nature and how nature works, like this is something that I can probably read on my way to work. Like this is not one of those things I have to sit down and think about, but I do want to read it. And so yeah, when I saw it again, I was just inclined. I'm thinking that this is his book because it's not marked up. I know the book that I had, it was marked up, so I will mark it and write questions in the edges. So this is his book. There's some underlining in here, but not a lot. So yeah, this is a quick read, a fun read, a thoughtful read, and it's about the earth. And this book is about how our small creatures in our gardens that we don't pay attention to, and sometimes we call them pests, how they improve our lives by living in our soils. And that's just the gist of this, the whole topic. But I'm going to give you a look at it again. Life in a Bucket of Soil. This is by Alvin and Virginia Silverman. I don't know if they're a husband and wife team. I never really got into it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are. And this book right here has a companion book, or did someone, I think it has a companion book. If it does, I would definitely refer to it in the link. Very quick read. Great for people who are homeschoolers and even not homeschoolers. Like, I just think it's imperative that we understand the importance of soil. So, yeah, quick read in the summer. This is a long-awaited book. Now, I was going to read this book in last month. This is now July. I was going to read this book, I think, in June. No, in May. But I never got to it how I wanted to. May was just a wash. But I'm catching up with it right now. Built from the Fire, the epic story of Tulsa's Greenwood District, America's Black Wall Street, 100 years in the neighborhood that refused to be erased. 100 Years in the Neighborhood That Refused to Be Erased by Victor Luckerson. And I started following him on, I want to say, Instagram, which I'm horrible because I'm never on Instagram like I should be. And I do have a Instagram page for my social media content, but oh my goodness, I promise myself I'll get better. But yeah, Built from Fire. This is definitely on my summer's list. It's been on my list for a while, and I just need to read it and get through it. So I'm trying to drink my coffee before it gets cold. Getting back to presidential biographies. This one is about former President Donald Trump, and this was written by a family member, Mary L. Trump, PhD. And it's a very thin book. It's a quick book. She basically wrote, I listened to this on audiobook, but I do want to read it. She The book is about how Donald Trump became the person he was. And so it tells the story of a little bit of his family, a little bit of his journey, until it is not even present tense. It's just, he's this way because of all these other factors. But it's a good read. I do recommend it if you want to understand some of the earlier days of former President Donald Trump. So it's called Too Much and Never Enough. Oops, I'm sorry. I got my hands on his lips. Too much and never enough. How my family created the world's most dangerous man. That's all I'm going to say. Last but not least, on my list of summer reads, and this may seem like a lot, but once again, I have to remind you, for me, summer is until September 21st. Well, I'm going to say September. I'm going to give myself to like maybe a week after Labor Day to finish these, and then I will do like a fall book haul, because I'm realizing, and this is how you get to know yourself, I'm not going to be doing another book haul or like a TBR for books in August or September. In September, the next book, the next TBR you're going to see is my fall reads, and I think that works better for me and my schedule and my temperament. All right, so the last one, this is also a reread for me. I like this book. This was actually a very good read, and I'm reading it right now. I'm reading a lot of presidential books. I will be doing like a list of them. You'll see in my fall reads, and so hopefully you'll stay tuned for that, because my goal is to read all the presidents. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say a year, because if I give myself that deadline, I'm going to put a lot of pressure on myself. But I do want to read books from all the presidents, like I said before earlier, either their presidential biography, their personal biographies, memoirs, current affairs, like how they handle their administration. So it's, and that's part of my goal of my library collection for my home. But this president, I'm gonna give you a clue. He got criticized for wearing a beige suit. Do we know who their president is? No? I'm gonna give you a few minutes. I'm gonna give you about 2 seconds. Okay. All right. This president is former President Barack Obama. The book is written by David Remnick, who is also the editor of My Black Lives Matter pick, him and Jelani Cobb's Black Lives Matter reading group. I'm reading their anthologies, and I'm kind of sharing it online, which I will be starting that again in the fall. I was supposed to start it in the spring, but definitely in the fall. The Bridge is the name of the book. I know you all are like, okay, can you just give us the title? This is actually a really great read. The Life and Rise of Barack Obama. And this right here actually is very complimentary to who he is. He's very charismatic, and I know that type of personality it wins some people over, but it turns some people off. He's like a word wizard. He's always great with articulating, sometimes over articulating, but I think that's his moon, which is a Gemini, but this video is not for that. So yeah, he has a birthday coming up, and so that's what made me think of him. The time I'm recording this video is in July. Hopefully I'll get this up before the end of July. And so his birthday is in August. He's a Leo. That's his sun sign. His moon sign is Gemini. I mean, like, what the hell? I mean, it just mesh, right? But those are complementary signs. This is not an astronomy or a zodiac class. I just thought I would mention it. Yeah, so I'll be reading this. Let me get back to this. So I'll be reading this sometime this summer. The Bridge. You know, funny little story. So every year, former President Barack Obama, he comes out with a list of books that he's reading. Like, not book recommendations, but list of books that he's reading. I haven't even checked it yet for this year, but every time for the past few years, when I check that list, I mean, whether it's in the fall or whether, you know, like in the late summer, I always have similar books. Like, out of that list, I may have, like, say for instance, if there's 5 books, I may have 3 of them that I'm reading as well. So we have similar reading tastes, which is, I think, that's a compliment to say, right? That, you know, you're thinking about the same things or wanting to explore the same things. So, you know how they say great minds think alike? Great minds think alike. So, yes, so that was my summer book haul slash part 2 of my birthday haul. I did not want to make this video long, but I didn't want to do 2 videos. So hopefully you were able to make it this far. I want to keep it under an hour. But thank you for coming back to my channel. And if this is your first time, hopefully you will come back. And so, in saying that, thank you for, you know, being part of this book community as we explore great books, fiction and nonfiction. And so I want you to have a beautiful day wherever you are. And, you know, let me know what you're reading. Fiction, nonfiction, audio, ebook. Let me know. Because, you know, if you have some great nonfiction out there you think I would love, please, like, put it in the chat. And so let's just keep the conversation going on great books. Until then, hopefully you're having a beautiful, beautiful day wherever you are. Bye bye.